What's up, guys? It's 2 p.m. here in Vancouver in the middle of winter, and it's a bit dark because living this far north, it's just dark all the time. So hopefully you can see me all right. Today we're having a look at the month 6 income report for my Race to 1000 case study, where I'm trying to see whether an affiliate site or a display ad site will reach $1,000 first. And it's really good news this month because instead of just calling it a case study, I can call it an income report because, believe it or not, both websites made money this month, even that website that is just absolutely dead. And I'll talk about that later. There's a bit of a story behind it. But the first thing I need to address is the elephant in the room, that little disclaimer down the bottom of the screen. Because I have sponsorship now for this case study, which is super exciting news for me because it's a way for me to monetize this YouTube channel without asking you directly for money. So the sponsor is Ezoic, and they're sponsoring this case study plus one other video per month. Now, the reason I decided to go with Ezoic for the sponsor is because I'm using Ezoic anyway. It's on brand for me to continue to be sponsored by Ezoic because I'm using their products and I can just demonstrate how I'm using the products. Now, just reassure you that when we went through our agreement and I signed a contract, they asked me to demonstrate their products, but they let me continue to keep my editorial independence the whole time, so I can be 100% honest with you about my opinions, both good and bad, about all the products. And for the income reports, I just show you a slide where it shows you how much money I'm making from Ezoic, and I might discuss it a little bit, but it's basically what I was going to do anyway, so it is win-win for me. Now, I just want to address this. I did choose to use that FTC disclaimer in the bottom of the screen that you would have seen at the start of the video, and people didn't like it. The first video I used after the sponsorship, it was the first time I ever had negative subscribers for this YouTube channel. So to you, I say, as I mentioned, I am trying to keep my editorial independence. I will continue to be honest about my opinions of Ezoic. But I would also say, if you've got a problem with people making money in our community, which is about making up money online, and you're not celebrating the fact that I get to make money online, our community should be celebrating when each other find a way to make money online. Leave a comment in the description what your opinion is, but for me, I am really stoked about it. I get to make videos that I love making, and now I'm sponsored for it. It's awesome. So let's move on to the case study. So site number 1, I added no new articles, and I just had my outreach person continue to do a bit of outreach, and I got 6 new backlinks for this site. So they're the only 6 backlinks that have ever been on this site. The other site, I'm not even doing any link building at all. So I built these backlinks using Matt Diggity's method, and we'll see what happens. It'll usually take 6 to 8 weeks to see whether or not the backlinks have any effect, I think. Apart from that, still, it's absolutely dead. You can see there is 1 article in the top 100. Apart from that, nothing. A couple of impressions, 6 clicks. You know, it's still dead in the water after 6 months. I don't have much hope for this website. Thank you to everybody who has been giving me suggestions. I've gotten like thousands of suggestions about what to do, and I've probably sort of done everything I can possibly think of to try to breathe some life into this site. For now, I'm leaving it alone. But crazily enough, it did make money. It made $3.29 from 1 sale. It was a sale of a product that's the best product in a best X for Y review. But the crazy thing is, Google Analytics says no one clicked onto that page. No one visited that page at all. And yet I got a sale from that page. Makes no sense to me whatsoever. But hey, I made $3.29. Don't expect to make any money next month, but funnily enough, it was still the first of the 2 sites to make me $1. Okay, let's move on to site 2, which is far more exciting. So this is the one that I do have Ezoic monetized on it. I added 33 new articles this month to get me to a total of 96 articles. At the moment, I'm working on some pillar, I don't know what to call them, pillar or category pages. Essentially, they're the pages on my homepage. So there'll be about 9 of them. You click onto that page and it will have links to everything within that category on the website. So there's a 2-click from the homepage to see any article on the website, and everything's sort of categorized into their correct categories. So that's what I'm working on at the moment, trying to get that homepage to help people navigate through the site. And I'm stepping up my Pinterest game. I'm going to release a video. I think I'm going to release it after this video about my Pinterest goals in 2021. That's one thing I'm really going to work on, especially for this site. So what happened this month? I did get hit, unfortunately, by the algorithm update at the start of December, but I still ended up getting more page views than I did last month because a lot of stuff is moving up into the SERPs now. So I jumped over 2,000 page views, 1,800 sessions, really stoked about that. I expect it to go up. You can see here that it's a pretty flat line. I think that's just seasonality. I have another website that's in a similar niche, and over the Christmas period, just not many people come and visit the site. So I think that it's just seasonality, and I really do think that over the next few months, I'm going to see a big spike in traffic. And the reason is my SERP tracker, and as I've said before, I think tracking your SERPs is the best sign of underlying health of a website. Last month, I had 1 article in the top 3. This month, I have 4. Last month, I had 3 articles in the top 10. This month, I have 7. Last month, I had 4 articles in the top 30. This month, I have 19. And last month, I had 8 articles in the top 100. This month, I have 40. So you can see articles slowly moving up through the SERPs. And those 40 that are in the top 100, I expect by next month, there's going to be that 40 is going to move up into top 30. Some of those 19 will move up into top 10. And some of those top 10 will move up into top 3. So we'll start seeing them all creep up the SERPs. And as that happens, I expect to see a lot more traffic coming in. So I think the underlying health of this site is really good right now. Okay, I did put Ezoic onto the website on the 14th of December. So far, its EPMV is about $8.16. I do expect that to go up, even though December is usually a high EPMV month. With only 997 visits since I put on Ezoic, in my opinion, Ezoic just hasn't had the time to have its AI test the placeholders to see which placeholders make the most money for me yet. So I do think that EPMV will continue to increase. I should say I think I've got 5-star premium Ezoic at the moment. So it helped me increase my EPMV by quite a bit because of the premium ad partners. So in fact, you could probably see here, it would have been $5.12 EPMV, and then the premium ad partners gave me an extra $3 worth of EPMV to get to that $8. But I do think it will increase, and one reason I think it will increase is because the site 2's Tier 1 traffic, so Tier 1 traffic is usually United States, UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. Its Tier 1 traffic is at 73%. So 73% of people visiting this site at the moment are from a country that generally delivers pretty good ad revenue. So United States, you can see it's above 50%. It's a really good sign because in the future, if I want to get onto AdThrive, for example, they only accept people with majority US traffic. So things are looking good at the moment for my site's traffic at 73% from high paying countries. Okay, site 2 is going to have a big Pinterest push. So what I have been doing so far, when I started the site, I used ifttt.com. That's if this then that. I basically put if this then that on to automatically send a pin to one of my boards every time I published an article. And then I just left it. It's just the most passive way that you can do Pinterest possible because you literally never have to log into your Pinterest ever. And it would just pin that article with the title as the title of the pin, and whatever your featured image is will become the pinned image. So I just did that and left it alone. And so far, after about 6 weeks of when I turned IFTTT on, I've got 26 link clicks, 1,800 impressions. Not great, but it's still, it's really early days. Pinterest does have that sort of slow takeoff as well. But I thought, hey, actually, I should be doing more with Pinterest because this is a very Pinteresty sort of niche. I think that I could get a lot of traffic from Pinterest. And I think that this 26 linked clicks is an indication of that people are willing to click over from Pinterest to this website. So I'm going to go harder on Pinterest. I turned off IFTTT, if this then that, so I'm not auto pinning anymore. And I'm going to start doing 3 fresh pins per post with Pinterest native scheduler. And I'll do a video on this later on. But Pinterest, when you pin a pin on Pinterest, you can see underneath pin, it says pin right now or schedule for later, and you can schedule it for up to 14 days later. So essentially what I'm doing is when I write a blog post, I'll create 3 pins, 1 pin with the H1 and 2 pins with sort of H2 sort of smaller keywords, and put those keywords on the pin somewhere, a couple of images from Canva, and then I go onto Pinterest, I pin 1 right now, and then I'll pin 1 for 7 days after that, and then 1 for 7 days after that on separate boards with separate sort of descriptions. So my descriptions for the pins, I literally just copy and paste a sentence that's a quote, or maybe 2 or 3 sentences that's a quote from the article, just copying and pasting them there, and then each article will have 3 unique pins on 3 separate boards on my website. I'm following that fresh pin strategy. Instead of repinning the same pin, I'm just doing 3 fresh pins and letting it sit. So it's not as passive as my previous Pinterest strategy, but I think it's a Pinterest strategy that is really easy to implement. Do it once, and then that's all I have to do for those articles, and I think that I may have success with it. And my whole goal for Pinterest is, I've been following Pinterest people and following Pinterest podcasts and watching people's YouTube videos about Pinterest, and I'm like, it seems like a lot of work. And I think this strategy makes a good balance between the pins being too much work, Pinterest being too much work, and still being successful. So it's kind of my lazy pinning strategy that I think still will provide some success. And as I'll talk about in my Pinterest video later in the week, I'm hoping for about 5% of total traffic across my whole portfolio to be from Pinterest at the end of the year, which should be somewhere between 20 and 30,000 pins per month, or clicks from pins per month to my website. Should give me somewhere around about $250 extra a month in revenue. So I'm really looking forward to that. And hopefully some of you can follow me with my Pinterest strategy, implement it yourselves, and we'll see whether or not it works. Okay, so next month, I'm going to add another 35 articles to site 2. That's the Ezoic monetized site, which will get me up to about 130 articles in total. I'm leaving site 1 alone. It can do whatever it wants. Maybe those backlinks will help, maybe they'll kick in, maybe they won't. But I've done everything that I can do with that site. I really like the content on it. I think it's a good site. I don't know why it's not getting any traffic from Google or YouTube or Google or Bing or anything like that. It's not getting traffic from anywhere. Something's wrong with it, but I'm just going to leave it alone. Site 2 is the one that I'm most excited about, and I think it's going to win the race to $1,000. In fact, right now is that moment where I think site 2 is its underlying metrics are looking really healthy, and it's just coming out of the sandbox. In fact, it's not really quite up to 6 months yet. I think it's 5.5 months old, but I just wanted to round it to the nearest month so that I could release a video at the start of each month. So I think in 2 or 3 weeks, I am going to start seeing that uptick. And I really believe that by about end of March, early April, this site will have about 10,000 page views, making me about $100 a month. So, you can hold me to that. Obviously, what I said about site 1 did not come to fruition at all. I thought it was going to be a really good site and nothing happened, but I am still predicting that site 2 is going to be a really good long-term play, making me $1,000 a month into the foreseeable future. So that's it for this month. A bit of an update on everything going on, some really exciting news. I've got this sponsorship, which is awesome. I've got site 2 looking really healthy, but site 1 is still a bit of a dumpster fire. So thanks for watching, guys. Good luck with your sites. If you're at month 6 and you're looking at my metrics, it'll probably give you a little bit of something to sort of feel better about, that, oh my goodness, this guy's after 6 months. These ones aren't looking too good right now, but that's pretty normal after about 6 months. But from here on, things should start looking pretty good. So leave a comment in the discussion below. Happy to have a chat with you about the sponsorship, put anyone's sort of worries at ease. And if you don't want to follow me because of the sponsorship, well, that's tough. I'm going to keep being sponsored because the whole goal for all of us is to make money online. All right, see you next month. And if you want to see the Pinterest strategy, I'll release that in a couple of days' time.